clicking on this video and watching our last video and all the other videos if you have been following us on YouTube. If you are new to the channel, this is our series about us answering questions that you guys have asked. And in our last video, we discussed why we moved to Costa Rica and a bit of who we are. So I'm Chris.
I'm Shayna.
And we are the Dufresnes. We are the owners and operators of Sea Casa Vacation Rentals here in Samara. If you do want to book, just go to seacasasamara.com.
So in our last video, we were sitting in one of our rentals, Casa Nautical, and this time we are sitting in Casa Tropical. So many people ask us how we found Samara and why we chose it and decided to make it our home. We've compiled a list of all the pros and cons of all the different places we traveled. We traveled the whole coastline when we first got down here, and strictly just had opinions on every place just based on feeling. We said if we're going to move down here, we are going to pick where our home is going to be based on how we feel pretty much right when we drive in, when we first start touring around a little bit, and just figured that we will have such a strong feeling and just know where that place should be.
So yeah, we stayed pretty much a week in every place that we're going to go through on the list. If you do see us looking over here, we do have the laptop set up because it is quite a list of pros and cons of each place we went to. So yeah, if we are looking this way, I don't want it to seem awkward to you watching and be like, why do they keep looking this way? But yeah, we just wanted to make sure we got everything out of our heads onto the screen so that we can share that with you. But yeah, they all have their pros and cons. We are going to talk about what made us choose Samara, and we'll leave that to the end. Samara we visited, it was our fourth stop on our trip down the Pacific coast. But yeah, let's get into it. One of the biggest pros is it is close to the airport. I think that's why a lot of people choose Playa del Coco to live or vacation when they do come down. It does have good grocery store. There is an auto mercado there, which is more like a standard of North American grocery stores where it's kind of a one-stop shop, air-conditioned. Prices are a bit more because of that, but it is a lot easier to grocery shop there. Coco has a lot of good restaurants. There's a lot on the main strip. One thing we did find is that there's a lot of good food choices there as well. Pizzas, local food, some more kind of trendy places, I guess, and then little barbecue places as well, and some microbreweries. So that was good as well. And with that, there's the main downtown core, which is a pro because not a lot of places have that. So you can actually get all your shopping and banking done kind of along the little strip there. And we found that was a really convenient thing there. International school, because we have our two boys, that was a main concern of ours, is where are we going to live that has an international school. So Coco does have an international school. It's about a 15-minute drive or 20-minute drive outside of Coco back towards the airport. So that's, I mean, a con to that, but at least it does have a school that your kids can go to that is accredited as well. Skate park on the boardwalk, that was cool when we were walking through, and I'll show you it right now. It was nice to see that there was actually a pretty decent skate park there right on the boardwalk, right by the water. So I mean, that was a nice thing to see. And then the beach is a swimming friendly beach. It wasn't crazy waves. They're a little bit bigger, but yeah, it was swimming friendly. The kids, that was the first time they were in the ocean, so it was cool to be there and swim in that beach. And
for some of the cons, we didn't care for the fact that the beach was pretty much all black sand, like that volcanic type sand. It was still okay. It just it doesn't feel as nice as when you go to some of the other places further down when you're moving down the south part of the Pacific, where it's more kind of that white, more fine sand. This was kind of like a thicker, more sticky black sand. So for us personally, we didn't like that. We didn't like how it felt. There is not much choice for restaurants on the beach. It's not like the whole beach is lined with like different random places that you can sit that's close to the water and enjoy a drink or have something to eat. So yeah, that was for us, that was kind of a con because there's a lot of times where, especially, I mean, we love to go in the water and hang out at the beach with our kids, but sometimes we just like to sit somewhere and just watch them play. It is more of, to us it felt like it was more of a party town. Especially like in the evening, of course. It just felt like it wasn't as comfortable to walk around, and yeah, it just kind of had more of that vibe of more nightlife and stuff, which makes us not feel as comfortable when we're walking around with kids at night, of course. It didn't feel like it really had like a core sense of community. We felt like it was just very touristy. It just had its one main road. It was just more catering to the tourist people that come down and stuff like that. But we just didn't feel like it just had that really like kind of family community vibe that we were looking for personally.
Yeah, it was more like a retirement feel. Like a lot of people were there retired, or they come down for 6 months or 3 months out of the year, so it didn't have that feel of everybody getting together. But maybe living there, you might find that you meet those people and then it becomes more of a community. We do have friends that live there and they love it there. It's, you know, the first place they went, they fell in love with Coco and they bought their places there, and they love it. It's cool to visit them and see what life is like in Coco.
So our next stop after Playa del Coco was Tamarindo. So the beach in Tamarindo was nice and big. It was lined with a lot of different restaurants and places to sit just to relax and stuff, so we really liked that. The beach was very swimming friendly. There was lots of kids, lots of families playing in the water and stuff like that. One thing for sure, we were specifically told when we were at the beach just to make sure that, like, when you're facing the water, over to the right, there's a river there that has been known to be dangerous with crocodiles and stuff like that. So the biggest thing there is just stay away from that end of the beach. Can be quite dangerous. But other than that, very swimming friendly and good that way. So definitely really good waves at Tamarindo on the beach. A lot of people come there to surf because at high tide it's like really good for surfing. So that's good for anybody that does that. And it's also very entertaining to be able to sit on the beach and watch people surf.
Yeah, it is more of a surfing town, but the cool thing is they had a skate park as well. It was nice to see another town that had a skate park. It was older though. We went and checked it out, and it looked pretty rough. It was kind of all the concrete was falling apart, and the transitions were like a cliff, like it was just straight down. So definitely not a place for the kids to go skateboard, more like someone that's actually done it for a while. But yeah, at least it had a park, which was cool.
Lots of good shopping. It is a little bit more like cater to tourists as well, Americanized stores and stuff like that, that kind of pricing too, but just lots of cool little shops and like a nice strip to walk down back and forth and stuff like that and just see what's something different and unique there.
And not just focused at tourists, like the little trinkets you can take home. There's actually the skate shop there and stores like that, so it was nice to actually have some variety. Cons about Tamarindo, very busy. It's definitely aimed at tourists. The way it's laid out, having a subway and stuff like that there, definitely a tourist town, so it was busy that way, a lot of traffic on the road. Didn't really have the community feel, not much culture either. It seemed like everyone that is from Costa Rica that's there is working, trying to sell stuff, so you don't really get to meet and mingle with the locals at all. Again, if you live there, maybe there is that other side of it, but it's just kind of staying there for 1 week. We didn't have that feel at all. Hard to relax on the beach. That's one thing that was nice about Coco, is you could actually lay on the beach and relax and stuff like that. Where Tamarindo, it just seems like everybody's walking the beach trying to sell you something. We had a guy come up and offered to go buy us beer, which was kind of convenient. But by the time
delivery, yeah.
He had to walk way down the beach. He's gone for like 10 minutes or something like that. And by the time he came back, it was warm. But at least he had the effort of asking us and to go in and do that for us. But yeah, you'd have people bugging you. Same people over and over asking you. I mean, I get it. They need to make a living, but when you're laying on the beach, like
I was just laying there with my eyes closed. Like honestly, the lady, for all she knew, I was sleeping, and I was just laying there with my eyes closed, and she kept coming up, "Senora, Senora," and just saying, talking over and over again and trying to get me to buy her stuff. And I was just laying there. I'm going to keep my eyes closed. I don't want to be bothered. And she just, she wouldn't go. And then, so I finally was like, looked up and said, no, gracias, no, gracias. And then she went away, and then I went back to relaxing and just laying there and had my eyes closed again. And about 5 minutes later, she came back and did the same things.
Yeah, and then another con we found just visiting there is the layout's kind of weird to live there. It's very spread out. You had the Auto Mercado at the far end of the strip, and then everything else was kind of at the other end. And I think we need to go there again, and we are going to do a walkthrough video there coming up, but just to kind of go up into the outskirts where everybody lives and just kind of see how that layout is.
Yeah, I never saw any neighborhoods, but yeah, no. I don't think we
a
went
lot of condos.
Yeah,
a lot of condos,
but not really neighborhoods, but no. We need to definitely check it out more, I think, and see.
Now that we have a car, we could actually drive around and kind of see how the layout is outside of the main strip. Nosara. Yeah, it's we actually kind of liked the area at first when we first got there. So there's some good pros and then the cons as well. A good surfing beach. Playa Guiones is actually one of the best beaches to surf at in the world. It's the most consistent break. I think someone said it was about 330 days out of the year. It's the same break, so very consistent that way. International school, another place that does have the accredited international school, so that was one of the reasons we actually made Nosara the stop on our tour down on the coast. Again, it has a skate park. It was for sale. I don't know if it's still for sale. It is a privately owned skate park, so they charge for an entrance. I'll show you a little bit of clip right now on that. So that was fun to go and skateboard there. Good restaurants and some higher end restaurants. There's one right on the beach that you can go see the sunset, and then they built a couple other newer ones there that have a really nice feel as far as when you're sitting in there. Good shops, not a lot of shops, but there's good shopping as far as clothes, jewelry.
Yeah, just different stuff that local people make and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and household stuff too. There's one shop there that has some stuff you can put for like furniture and that stuff. So that's pro. And then there's things to do as family. When we were there, we went to was it Cafe Paris? That's what it's called. It's right on the main entrance to Guiones Beach, and they have a mini golf there. So that was cool to see that. And now they have like an escape room. We haven't done it yet, so we want to go do that and see what that's like. But yeah, just things to do as a family when you're living there or if you're vacationing longer term. Not just always going to the beach or pool or something. It is nice to do, but it does get old over time.
The cons for Nosara or Guiones area is that it's very spread out. It takes a while to get to certain places. It doesn't have like a really core area. Like there is some shopping and stuff like that, but it's like you have to go off and branch off on all these little random roads. You don't really know where they're going to take you to and stuff. So it's just it's a little bit of a different layout. We didn't care for it that much.
Yeah, sorry. So you have like the main strip of Guiones, which has a few shops and restaurants, and then you have North Guiones, which is a little more condensed, but it's mostly restaurants, and then like a little grocery store there and realtors. And then you have to go over to Playa Pilata. There's a couple restaurants over there, and then you have to go up into, I guess, it's the hill a little bit, and that's where the town of Nosara is, where the main grocery is. On the way there is where the gas station, and then there's some restaurants and stuff. So it's very spread out. It's like different sections, and you'd have to kind of go to all those sections to get everything you need for the week of living there.
And that is not easy to do when the roads are terrible. The roads are very, very bad there. In dry season, they're super, super dusty. So everywhere you go, you feel like you're kind of dusty and dirty, or your car's covered. All the vegetation and plant life and stuff like that is covered in like a white, powdery fine dust. It almost looks like snow. But it's just just that kind of dusty aspect we didn't care for. And then in rainy season, the roads get really tore up there. There is no pavement at all, so you get huge potholes. Then it rains, it's like just mud everywhere and stuff. So we didn't like that. We just didn't want to go, feel like anytime we went somewhere, it was going to be hard on our car, or that we were going to just, get covered in mud or anything like that. So that was definitely one of the things. I mean, and we do like to still visit there, and we still do every once in a while, because it's only 45 minutes away from Samara.
It should actually be like 20 minutes from Samara, but because the roads are so bad, it actually takes about 45 minutes to get there.
When people talk about Nosara itself, Nosara is actually its own separate area from Guiones. So Guiones is the main area where the beach is, but Nosara is kind of all the outskirts around where more of the local Costa Rican people live. Also, Playa Guiones, the beach itself, it's very just natural and stuff, which is nice. There is no place to sit on the beach, though. There's no beach restaurants. You have to definitely be prepared to make sure that you bring chairs and a cooler and that sort of stuff, which is fine. Some people don't want to do that all the time. So yeah, definitely just a little bit different that way than some of the other places we had seen. So the next beach over from Playa Guiones is called Playa Pilata, and it is more, it's got a couple places that are actually close to the beach to sit. So that's kind of nice that way, but you have to drive over there to get there, of course, which is okay. And both of those beaches, though, honestly, like, not that swimming friendly. They are more for surfing and stuff like that. We noticed you can swim in there, but you do feel more of like the riptide pull a little bit. Not in a dangerous way, but I'm sure at high tide it's probably not a good idea. Maybe especially not with like young kids that aren't strong swimmers or anything like that, because you definitely can feel it a bit.
Yeah, and Playa Pelada, I don't know if I have video. If I do, I'll put it in right now just to show you how the waves were. I don't have a drone shot of it, but when we were there, the beach kind of drops off, kind of like how Playa Grande does near Tamarindo, and then the waves are really strong coming in. So we couldn't even, the boys couldn't even swim in there.
No, it was literally pulling the rocks. So
Yeah.
we're like, we'll just watch the beach.
Yeah,
we're not
it's
going to actually go in.
Definitely very nice to look at and walk the beach, but as far as swimming, it's not as calm to swim in or anything like that. So yeah, didn't like that. So the next stop on our tour of the coast was actually Samara, which we live now. We're going to talk about that at the end just because we want to explain why we chose Samara.